we do a quarterly team pulse survey, we call it. And so this one happens quarterly. And this is basically like a more formalized way to gather data and information from your team. Now, I'm not sure if this is anonymous or not anymore because our HR team run this now, but you can choose whether or not to make this anonymous. That would be up to you. But each team member basically completes this survey just on Google Forms. It's a little bit like a 360 review if you've ever done one of those, but it effectively gives them the opportunity to say, how am I doing in my role? How much support do I feel like I have? Am I happy with management and leadership in the business or not? Is there anything that's causing me to stress out, or am I potentially reaching burnout? Do I feel like I've got the opportunity to pursue my career here? Am I satisfied with this job overall? And this is harsh feedback to receive the first few times you do this as a leader. If you haven't asked your team for candid feedback like this before, it might be pretty full on to receive this feedback. First few times that we did it, we only had, 7 or 8 people in the business, so a pretty small business. And our rating for like opportunities for career progression was nearly 0. And fair enough, we're a small business. They don't necessarily have a laid out career path for each person for them to grow and expand. And so we took on that feedback and we looked at that and we went, okay, cool. Well, how could we potentially create better pathways for team members to learn and grow? And we created pathways to seniority and pathways to promotion within our teams. And we decided to focus on recruiting juniors that we would train up on skills rather than recruiting seniors as we were expanding the business. But this feedback is really, really useful to get from your team, and it helps to guide you in your leadership and how you grow and structure the company. You just reminded me about something actually to do with newbies. This is a little bonus one. So when you move from 5 to 6 to 7 employees and you start going north of that, something special happens. And what that thing that happens is you can't anymore directly manage and directly chaperone every single person in your business. And what has to happen is you have to start to shape the culture of the business and start using things like defining what your values are and defining what people's superpowers are and using some of this phraseology and terminology and using your mission and your vision to guide people, because you can no longer just look after every single person individually in the business. And so that's where, leaders and managers start emerging in the business, and you're going to be managing some people just secondhand through other people, right? Now, what can happen there is, even though you may have the mission and the values up on the wall, you may have a disconnect between yourself and how you embody those qualities and your frontline workers, the individual workers who are inside your business. And one of the ways that we bridge that gap, particularly once we got to like 15, 20, 25 employees and north, is we actually have a monthly newbies meetup. So the monthly newbies meetup is a 20 to 30 minute, again, something that's important for those with remote teams, because you're not going to do this in person. You're not going to do Friday night drinks in person, right? So the newbies meetup is time with the founder and anyone who's been in the company less than 6 months. So if they've joined the company in less than 6 months, there's a monthly catch up and we either play games, or we talk a little bit about the vision of the business, or we talk a bit about the values of the business, or sometimes the newbies want to ask questions and that person can answer the questions. Now, Scott actually runs these right now because the last couple of years I've been pretty much out of the business operationally. So it's the CEO, the top executive, and anyone who's been in the company less than 6 months. Effectively, this is the opportunity to indoctrinate those staff in the values and the culture of the business. You've got your managers to indoctrinate them on behavior and execution. That's their job. Your job is to indoctrinate them with culture and values.